Alright guys, Dowd out here in the workshop, and I have finished my restoration of my DeWalt 7770 10-inch radial arm saw. My table's set up. I've got my sacrificial piece of just board on top. I'm going to end up holding this down with just some brads, but I don't have any right now, so yeah. I went and rebuilt the motor, replaced the bearings in it, cleaned, painted, and powder coated up everything. Painted it back out. I couldn't get an actual DeWalt yellow, but this safety yellow looked very close, and I'm very happy with how she's turned out. I'll be putting her to use, doing all kinds of work. Thought I'd give you guys kind of a little walk around. You see I've just got a bungee cord stuck here so that when I slide this out, if I let go, it comes back. I don't know if you guys have ever actually used a radial arm saw, so yeah, I'm going to walk you guys around it. This right here up top is where we adjust our height. See, that's how the blade moves up and down. The gears in this are plastic. I'm actually going to be casting out some new metal ones at some point. See, this is our miter gauge where we can take this guy, and what I'll do is I'm going to bring it out forward. See this knob here that I've got this connected to? This knob, if you tighten it down, actually holds the saw steady. Useful for when you're ripping, if you're ripping, you know, lengthwise on one of these. As you can see, I've got this held here, and of course, I've got my out and in rip. Oh boy, what all can you do with this? What can't you do with this guy, really? Here, let me go ahead and bring her up so I clear the fence. This is my miter. This is where I adjust to what I want. Say I want to do a 15-degree cut. There I am. There I am at a 15-degree, 30-degree. What I like is it actually locks at 45 degrees. And I can go the other way as well. Locks at 0. And my bungee cord doesn't like to go all the way over that way, so set you off here. Let me see, I can go all the way over. See, I can go all the way over to 45 degrees the other way. And this allows me to cut any kind of a miter cut that I need, any kind of angled cut. I just set it whatever I need. If I want a 30-degree cut, for instance, you know, there's a 30-degree cut. It just doesn't lock. This just applies pressure. So you want to be careful not to, you know, move it around. This also does compound mitering. I can pull this out like so, and I can perform cuts at an angle. No problem at all. Now right now this is set up to do a cross cut where I would pull it across. You pull this handle here and you pull the saw into it. Now, the other option you've got here is this bar here. Pull this over, pull this down, and we'll tighten the bar back up. And now I can perform ripping. I can actually rip with this guy. I can take a piece of board and I can feed it through the table. Of course, you see I don't have as much room as I'd like, so I can't do very long boards with this right now, but eventually I intend to build more bench off to the side for this. What else? See the lock there. Pull that down. Get back in the position. See, I've greased everything up nice and neat on here, so that it all is nice and tight. The way this normally works is you'd fire it up, and you pull across for making a nice straight cut. Just pull across for a nice straight cut. Now in my case, slides forward, I kind of really overdid those bearings. They're in crazy good shape, so I can just use my knob here to hold it in place. But normally I just have my bungee cord hooked up and I'll leave this loose so that it retracts. So yeah, that's a radial arm saw. They are like any machine. You need to have respect for the machine. You need to make sure that you at all times are aware that there's a spinning blade here. Oh, speaking of the blade, let me point something out. Do you notice the teeth on this blade? This is unfortunately a big part of why Radial Arm Saw has gotten such a bum rap. People put regular table saw blades on there where you're feeding it through the blade. That's not how this works. If you notice, the blade rotates this way and you actually pull it across to you. So the blade is literally running in the direction that you're trying to pull it. You need what's called a negative face blade. Make sure you get a nice negative face blade on there and you won't have any kind of problem with this thing trying to run up on you. So yeah, that's my new Radial Arm Saw. Thanks for looking.